Hello, welcome to this update for the Western Pacific and the Indian Ocean. So we have on the Western Pacific that area of investigation is now at a high chance of formation in the next 24 hours, and they still don't have anything in the Indian Ocean, but almost all the models show it developing in the Bay of Bengal, the other system there. So let's see. There's 96W there, so there's a lot of convection already, and like there are a few models showing up here, but some of them take it towards the Philippines and some go further north. But like the GFS ensembles mainly takes this towards the northern Philippines, so that's where we are mainly concerned about the impacts. So let's see if there's anything else. There's the Canadian ensembles. The Canadian ensembles are kind of very messy around, but most of them show like Taiwan or something. But let's see here. So this is the GFS. It developed that system there near the Philippines, very broad, but does become like a tropical storm or a weak typhoon and goes into the northern Philippines, and it strengthens more in the South China Sea, but not very much, just like a weak typhoon, and goes into parts of southern China and Vietnam there. So, and it also develops another one near Guam and then goes north into the Pacific. So, let's see. There's the European model too. Yes, the 0Z. So it shows there that system very broad and not very, yes, it's organized but not very compact, but it does go towards the northern Philippines. Near the Philippines and Taiwan, it shows first in the Philippines and then going towards Taiwan there, and then maybe affecting eastern China by like next weekend with a lot of rain, even just Korea and Japan. But that's a little bit far out still. There's the Canadian model, shows that system there, tries to develop, gets to a tropical storm or something, and passes just like northeast of the Philippines and doesn't actually hit the Philippines, and goes towards Taiwan and China. So the Canadian has this towards Taiwan. There's the icon, it forms there, and the icon has also more into the Philippines, goes as like a typhoon or a strong tropical storm to the Philippines. Then it goes to the South China Sea. The icon's too strong in the South China Sea, but it does show like a typhoon here in the northern Philippines. A weak typhoon, but a typhoon. So be aware there. Let's see if there's any like hurricane models for this. So there's this one, it shows Invest 96W. It does turn this into a tropical storm, even a typhoon later, and that will be like, is that Taiwan or the northern Philippines? That will be the northern Philippines, and the HRF has a strong typhoon in the northern Philippines, but that's too strong, I think. There's like this other model, it has it there, a little bit more disorganized, but gets to tropical storm and gets to like this very strong typhoon, passes just north of the Philippines with a lot of heavy rain there. So yeah, please be aware. Here's a closer look at the GFS. So it has it forming there and passing right through the northern Philippines and then to the South China Sea as a typhoon tropical storm. So please be aware there. Here the European ensembles does show a lot of support for this forming because it might form right in the next 24 hours. So it shows it there, and then down the road it shows this mainly heading towards Taiwan, parts maybe affect Japan down the road or some areas. So the European is leaning towards like the northern Philippines and then Taiwan later, and it does show a thing or two near the South China Sea, but very little. And then it shows a lot of support for this next system close to the Mariana Islands. It might go north into the Pacific. there's the GFS. The GFS is not going at Taiwan. The GFS is going right into the Philippines and into the South China Sea. So the European and the GFS are like very different ideas now. So it goes like into the Philippines and the South China Sea, and it has support for the other system near the Mariana Islands too. So we'll keep monitoring there. So be aware. But the main threat now, as this develops, is like all the heavy rain that this will bring in the Philippines. Even before this arrives, like today, there are already storms in the Philippines, and it shows this approach in there. Some very heavy rain, especially in the northern island of the Philippines. Between next Wednesday, the 23rd, and next Thursday, shows some very heavy rain there, especially continue until next Friday, the 25th, in the northern Philippines. Might be a lot of flooding, and then this goes into Taiwan, and the European model has a lot of heavy rain in China next weekend. So yeah, and let's see the rain accumulation until next Friday. So the European model has this passing right by the northern Philippines, more than 500 millimeters in the next 5 days, like 400 millimeters, 300. So this would cause some tremendous flooding there, and probably will cause because it's heading that direction. But shows more than 300 millimeters in some areas, 200 millimeters. Even further south, like 100 millimeters, some islands there 300, 100. Even like central southern Philippines shows summer moisture near the South China Sea, close to 200 millimeters. Southern Philippines show like 200 millimeters in some other areas. So a lot of heavy storms there. Be careful, but especially in the north, when this arrives, please do what you can to stay safe. The GFS doesn't have it going towards Taiwan, but has it going towards the west into the South China Sea. So until next Friday, the GFS is more than 300 millimeters central part of the northern island of the Philippines, like some areas like Santiago, Yagan, Baguio, more than 400 millimeters, 400, like Dassault 397. So please stay safe there. In all those areas shown here, there'll be a lot of rain and flooding, so please stay safe. 300, even 400 millimeters the northern part of the Philippines, so please be careful. Even the eastern Philippines show like 300 millimeters, some islands in the eastern Philippines 200, western Philippines like more than 100 millimeters in some of the islands there, and a little bit in the southern Philippines. So please be careful there. And like there's the icon too. The icon has a little bit split paths. It has shows this kind of heading north near Taiwan, but it also has tremendous amounts of rain in the western part of the island. So it has 573 millimeters in parts of the northwestern Philippines, like 507 millimeters, 404, 378, 297, so 400. So please stay safe. We still don't know exactly if this will cross the northern island of the Philippines, or if you just pass by, but depending on how it goes, the rainfall areas might be different, like if it crosses like this, or if it goes north, like the European is showing. If it goes north, the worst of the rain will be like in the northeastern part of the island, and like the GFS crossing right through, the worst rain will be the central part of the northern island. So regardless, this whole area of the northern Philippines should be on high alert for flooding from this system. So please make some preparations and do what you need to stay safe, especially because of the rainfall. But the winds, they will be strong too, but it depends on the strength of this. The European model currently has parts of the west eastern Philippines, some 81 km per gusts on Wednesday, the 23rd, And then it goes to the northern Philippines, some islands there, close to some 89 kilometer per gust. Those are definitely like tropical storm to typhoon force winds, some 79 kilometer per gust. And then this keeps going. Those winds get very intense in those islands. They're like Basco, those areas more than 100 kilometer per gusts. And this next Thursday, right? Next Friday, the 25th, shows those very strong winds in between Taiwan and China. And the southern islands of Japan will get some very strong winds already. Although the system will be near the Philippines, the winds will go all the way into like Miyakojima and parts of the southern islands of Japan. So please stay safe. The European has this going towards Taiwan later, more than 113 km per gusts, and eventually into eastern China too. It has some gusty winds and heavy rain next weekend in eastern China. So please be safe. There's the GFS. It has this coming. It has some very strong winds central Philippines too, central and eastern Philippines, more than 78 km per gust, some 90 km per gust, parts of the eastern Philippines. Then the northern Philippines, 93 to 98, 100 km per gust. Then it has this making landfall right in the northern Philippines. The worst winds will be in those northern islands there, more than 116 km per gust. And then this goes, the GFS as this keeps going and heading into the South China Sea. There's some tiny islands there. They might get some very rough conditions if this happens. But like it's only the GFS and another model or two showing this into the South China Sea and southern China. Most of the models have towards Taiwan and some areas. But like it goes there, eventually might approach Vietnam too. But this is the GFS. The icon has like this forming there, and today's like Sunday, the 20th, almost Monday. So today shows some slightly gusty winds in parts of Palau, and this continues developing. The icon has it further south, like many parts of central eastern Philippines, more than 98 km per gust, 97, so 98. So please be aware, the icon has this going there, kind of almost making landfall in the northern Philippines next Wednesday, the 23rd, Wednesday night, probably. So show like some 116 km per gust in the northern Philippines. Then this would go, shows the eye right over the northern Philippines, some 118 km per gust, some very gusty winds central Philippines too, and southern Taiwan as well. So please be aware. And then later the icon is into the South China Sea. So the icon and the GFS are showing the South China Sea. But let's see what it does later. So the icon's really insane with this. Shows almost super typhoon blowing up. But that probably won't happen. It's too strong. But please just make preparations in the Philippines for all this rain and flooding coming, and warn others there. If you know like other people, share this information with them there. Please stay safe. So let's see. There's like in Taiwan some 300 millimeters, 100 in the next 5 days. It's showing just in the next 5 days until next Friday. More than 48, 50 millimeters the southern islands of Japan. Close to 90 millimeters Miyakojima, Naha, close to 100 millimeters. So there'll be more showers and storms passing by those islands. Be aware. Like you can see here, today's mainly quiet. More storms in southern Japan. But it does show like as this system approaches next Wednesday, the 23rd, it shows more storms there for the southern islands of Japan. A lot of storms, but even the GFS shows some storms in Miyakojima, some areas, but the GFS is the system way further south. So, yeah. So be aware those areas and please stay safe. And now, if you're watching from uh, India or Bangladesh, let's see here. So they still don't have anything there, but we have this disturbance there now near Myanmar. parts of Thailand, and shows it goes to the Bay of Bengal. This is the European model, and it starts forming up something there, and the European model is like a tropical storm or something into eastern India next Thursday, the 24th. Has a tropical storm there, so let's see. There's like India here, so there's this interesting model. It shows the storm there, and it has like a cyclone forming. So this model is too strong, I think. It shows like a cyclone to eastern India. There's the European I just showed you. It has like a very weak, broad tropical storm. Like goes there, strengthens a little bit more, goes as a tropical storm into eastern India there. And then later it has like kind of lingers there in India and goes away. So the GFS has the disturbance there, and it has this forming very quickly as soon as it gets to the Bay of Bengal. And the GFS is like a severe cyclone too, has a very strong one. That's too strong, I think, but the GFS still showing a very strong cyclone. There's the Canadian model. It goes there into northeastern India and Bangladesh. This has a more hitting like Bangladesh there as a cyclone. So let's see. So practically all the models are developing this. Might strike between like eastern India or even Bangladesh, but most likely in eastern India. So the icon shows this going similar to the European parts of eastern India there as a tropical storm or maybe a weak cyclone. So regardless, please be aware in those areas. If you are in that coast of eastern India and southwestern Bangladesh, please be monitoring this very closely, and when you can, start making some preparations if needed. We don't know much about this system yet, but better to be ready. So please be aware, and let's see if there's an might be this one 98b. So shows a lot of convection there. It's right near the Andaman Islands there. So there's a lot of heavy rain near southern Myanmar and those islands, so please be careful today, southern Myanmar and those areas. So there's these two models showing the European, the Navgen into eastern India, and like the GFS ensembles have this half going to India, half going to Bangladesh. So but the most likely spot right northeastern India, right near Bangladesh. The Canadian models are a little bit spread out, so please be aware those areas. Let's see. No, this still doesn't have anything. So please be monitoring there. So rainfall estimates from today to next Friday. So the European model has this here in eastern India, those areas around Cuttack, Paradeep, Puri, some areas. It has more than 200 millimeters. Nothing catastrophic, but it has like 100 to 200 millimeters in those areas, and some others like 177 millimeters. The GFS is this further north into Bangladesh. In other areas, it doesn't have much rainfall, but it does have more than 100 millimeters in Bangladesh. The icon has a little bit further south too, northeast in eastern India there, more than 100 millimeters. So please be aware there. There's like, let's see if I get this other model here. So region like in Asia. So let's see. So this is the Canadian model I showed you before. Let's just see the rainfall if it loads, because it takes a while sometimes. So I'll leave it until next Friday here. So it's too early to discuss potential wind gusts, but let's just take a look. The European has this around eastern India next Thursday, the 24th, more than 76 km per gust, 69, 70. So it does have some tropical storm, almost cyclone force winds there, so close to even 90 km per gust. the GFS already has this on northern Bangladesh. So at landfall, the GFS close to 100 km per gust, southern Bangladesh and northeastern India. So yeah, please be monitoring those areas and warn others there. So let's see this here, like regions like the Indian Ocean. So there's the GFS ensembles. They have a lot of support there for this farming up in the Indian Ocean, but most of the GFS ensembles go towards Bangladesh, northeasternmost India. Wait, the European ensembles. Let's go here to Indian Ocean again. So here, so the European ensembles are not as crazy as the GFS ones, are like weaker, but does show more to Eastern India. Most of the European ensembles show Eastern India. So yeah, POR. And I don't know if this will load or not, but while it loads, let's just see rainfall. Some other areas like Cambodia and Vietnam show like 99 to 100 millimeters in southern Vietnam. In eastern Vietnam still shows a lot of rain, but there still might be some heavier showers and storms from time to time. In Cambodia and Thailand especially. Laos shows some showers, a storm or two, but mainly in Thailand and Cambodia. And Vietnam will be heavier. In Myanmar, there's this disturbance there now. Southern Myanmar shows more than 100 millimeters. 111 shows like 100. Even northern Myanmar shows 50 to like some 70 and 80 millimeters northern Myanmar. So be aware. The southern Philippines, I showed you, some other areas near Malaysia and the South China Sea, and more showers and storms in Indonesia, not as heavy, but does show some occasional storms in Malaysia, Indonesia there. So be aware. And even northeastern India there, near northern Bangladesh, is showing close to like 70 to 80 millimeters in the next 5 days. So better monitor there. Southern India show like 53 millimeters, 60, a spot or two 70. So be aware, some more tropical showers in southern central India. Might be some thunderstorms too. The Langstrip Islands, some more showers. The Maldives. So yeah, be aware. And in Japan, we have some fronts there, some 24 millimeters, 45. Southern Japan, because of those thunderstorms, show more than 200 millimeters. But we'll discuss more about the fronts when we will make the winter weather video for Asia. But be aware, in Japan, more rain. Southern China, might be some thunderstorms still for central southern China into eastern China. So be aware. Western Guinea still shows more than 100 millimeters in those central areas, more tropical showers and storms there. And yeah, so be aware. I don't think this will load today, but you have the idea there. So please be safe in the Philippines and monitor this if you are in India there or Bangladesh.